Okay, folks, so welcome to Swing Trading today. This is Bob Desmond, and we're going to kick things off initially with the stocks that our members are requesting that I review, which is member stock chart request. Then we'll segue over into the pre-market activity, and then members, we're going to do a quick morning update, so stay tuned. Let's get to it. It is at current 5:48 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time, September the 5th. Let's kick things off with Canopy growth. We discussed Canopy growth a couple of weeks ago, and in fact, with this particular trade, we talked about a 2-hour breakout strategy. Let's go to that chart. Here you have it. I mentioned that the daily chart was strong, and that if we broke out of this 2-hour chart, that the shares can be bought, and sure enough, we broke out, and it was off to the races. Back to the daily chart. Now, the risk reward is built here a little bit. We rallied yesterday 14.61%. So we may get an intraday pullback. The markets are weak in the pre-market. But longer term, assuming that the market holds up, I think the Canopy growth is moving higher. The next chart up. Biotelemetry Inc. beat the symbol. Love the chart. We broke out on the 31st. Yesterday, a continuation breakout after a pullback. We then flashed a bullish key reversal off of that pullback. I think that we are heading higher here. These shares found support back here on the 13th of November with this bullish key reversal. I love this candlestick, my favorite candlestick. And ever since then, it's been off to the races. We had a multi-month consolidation. We then broke out April the 26th, and here we are today, stair-stepping higher. All good stuff. I think we're moving higher on beat. Boot Barn Holdings, daily chart. We broke out here on the 29th, consolidated it. Yesterday, we did a retest of the breakout point, reversed. I think that we're going to break out above the 30.26 level on that breakout. I think the shares can be bought. Volume, very good. So a thumbs up to boot. Square. All right, so here's a stock I've gone over in the past. We've been fairly bullish on it. We remain bullish on it, even though we have RSI 82.01. Yes, technically overbought, but more often than not, especially as you saw back here, back in October through November of 17, we had big moves when these shares were above the 80 level. So what I would coach to is that you use a trailing stop loss order, allow the markets to take you out as close to the highs as possible while allowing your position to run. And keep in mind that if these shares are beginning to take up too big of a size in your portfolio, you may want to think about reducing your exposure here a bit if you have big profits. But otherwise, I think that the path of least resistance remains higher for Square. Volume is good. We remain bullish. Nike. All right, I'm going to avoid the specifics here. What I will talk about Nike in a higher level view, meaning we have another company that's decided to throw their hat in the ring and to become a social justice warrior at the expense of their shareholders. We've seen the same thing with Google. We've seen the same thing with Twitter. Google continued to break down yesterday. We've been bearish on these shares. Watch for a breakdown below 1204. That will be a confirmation breakdown on Google. Weak and getting weaker. Back to Nike. Yesterday, they were down 3.16% on their brilliant move to step into the political arena and piss off the vast majority of their customers. Volume, very high. Institutional distribution. Stokes, weak and getting weaker. I think these shares move lower. Now, what I always like to do is when companies make these types of moves, I like to take a look at their competition. How did they perform? Here's Under Armour. We broke out here on the 20th, pulled back, retested, flashed a bullish key reversal, and while Nike was down over 3% yesterday, Under Armour was up 1.79%. RSI putting in higher lows, consolidating nicely. We're waiting for a breakout here. So while Nike looks like it's beginning to break down, Under Armour appears to be consolidating and poised to capitalize on Nike's decision and appears poised to move higher. Let's get to the pre-market activity. Okay, in the pre-market, we have the S&P 500 down 10.5 points. That is off the lows of the session. And we are leaning into support levels. Now, I wouldn't get all too concerned about this pullback until, of course, we break down to new weekly lows. And that low would come at 2,885.50 on the S&P 500. I am not loving this RSI, which is weak and getting weaker. As for the Nasdaq, a similar story here. We're weak this morning. We're down 31 points. We're slightly off the lows of the session. The low of last week was 7606.25. The low of the week last week was 7569. But I think we'll be at that support level quickly should we break down below 7581.50. So keep an eye on the Nasdaq here and the S&P 500 for a potential breakdown. Taking a look at the 10-year note, we are up this morning. That means there's a bit of pressure on yields. But the trend for the 10-year Treasury note is to the downside on this 4-hour chart. Gold, we were up earlier. Now we are down on the session. We have a new weekly low on gold. No new monthly low, but we do have a new monthly low on the gold stocks. Take a look at the GDX. We're not going to have pre-market activity here, but we have a new monthly low. Taking a look at the dollar, which is the proximate cause of that low, it appears as though we are going to press higher here on the dollar. Bitcoin, wow. Bitcoin was up 30 bucks earlier. It has now just begun to get crushed. Down 3.5% in the past hour. It could be a filling of this gap here. But wow, what a move. I would need to check on some news on Bitcoin for this type of price action. I'll take a look at the news in a moment once I get done recording here. All right, that is it for the pre-market, folks. Members, let's segue over to a quick morning update. If you're not currently a member, please sign up for the 14-day free trial offer. If you're not ready yet, that's fine. Follow me on social media. Click on that notification button, the bell button. If you watch us on YouTube, get notified of future videos. If you watch us on the website, enter your email address. We hate spam too. Members, let's segue over to a quick morning update. Okay, folks, let's do a quick morning update here. I want to talk in a bit of detail with regard to the NUGT trade and why we needed to lighten up. Let's talk first about the economic data. The ISM index, the manufacturing index, came in with a big beat yesterday. And that caused weakness in the gold mining names, not necessarily gold. Gold did not take out the month's lows, but the gold miners did. Now, why does that matter? It matters because